and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Fire destroyed 3 historically black churches in Louisiana. Good evening, I'm Macy Marie. Those fires happening over the course of 10 days, and now investigators are trying to determine if they are related. As Meredith Wood reports, church leaders are not losing faith.
I'm very concerned, but I'm very optimistic because God, our faith is in God.
3 historic churches, all destroyed by fire in less than 2 weeks, now seeking answers.
We believe it's suspicious. We're certainly treating these fires from the beginning as crime scenes.
The churches have predominantly African-American congregations. Louisiana State Fire Marshal, alongside federal and local agencies, are investigating the cause of the fires. Officials haven't said if they're related.
However, we're very cognizant that there is a problem, and there is no coincidence that there are 3 fires.
The first at St. Mary Baptist Church on March 26th. Then on April 2nd, a fire destroyed Greater Union Baptist Church. Just 2 days later, a third fire destroyed Mount Pleasant Baptist Church on April 4th. Church leaders say their faith won't be rocked and services will go on.
Did I want to be at this point? No, I would rather not. But this is God's plan. Yeah. He allowed it, and I believe He brought me here. He's going to bring me through this.
Each of the churches has made temporary arrangements in other buildings. I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Check your pantry for cans of tomato paste, which may contain mold. Congra Brands issued a voluntary recall for 6-ounce cans of Hunt's tomato paste. The company says consumers made them aware of that issue. In a press release, the company says it believes the items may have been damaged after the canning process had been completed. Only cans in the U.S. with no salt added and an expiration date of October 16th, 2020 are affected. Congress says it's working to make sure no more of those cans are sold in stores. 3 relentless rainstorms in 2 weeks left at least 57 people dead and caused widespread flooding. The Islamic Republic News Agency reports at least 25 provinces are affected and thousands of survivors have been forced from their homes. Iran's foreign minister says U.S. sanctions are hampering the Red Crescent's aid efforts, calling it economic terrorism. Rival political factions took to the streets across Venezuela today in a mounting struggle for control of the crisis-racked nation, where U.S.-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido is attempting to oust socialist president Nicolas Maduro. The rallies also followed crippling power failure that left most of the country scrambling in the dark for days and without running water or phone service. Many opposition supporters marched along a sunny Main Avenue carrying Venezuelan flags on Saturday. A sea of Sundance protesters calling for President Omar al-Bashir's ousted descendants on his compound in the capital on Saturday in what could be the biggest rally since a wave of anti-government demonstrations began in December. Multiple eyewitnesses say security forces made at least 2 attempts to disperse the crowds at those protests there. President Trump spoke at Saturday at the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual meeting in Las Vegas, making a bid for Jewish voters to support his re-election. He also talked about the upcoming Israeli election and blamed the Democratic Party for allowing the spread of anti-Semitism.
Yesterday, I traveled to the border in Calexico, California, and I saw a section of brand new 30-foot high steel wall. You want to be able to see through it. You got to see through it. You got to see who's on the other side.
Authorities in Brazil say a ferry boat collided with a bridge pillar in Brazil's Amazon region Saturday, knocking 2 cars into the Moho River and cutting a highway to one of the country's busiest ports. Witnesses said 2 small cars fell into the water as a result of the accident, which occurred on a highway that's part of the bridge leading to the port city of Belém, the state capital. Scuba divers were searching for survivors. It's not clear how many people were in those cars. Now back here in the Bluegrass, a horse has died following a race at Keeneland this afternoon. Cathedral Reader, a 4-year-old filly who's owned by GMB Racing, did not finish the Madison Stakes due to a broken leg. The ownership group says the horse had to be euthanized due to the injuries after that race. We now know the funeral arrangements for a missing Floyd County man who was found dead this week. Jordan Tackett will be laid to rest Monday at the Hall Funeral Home Chapel in Martin. Tackett went missing in February. This week, police found his body in a shallow grave in Floyd County. Investigators charged Wesley Martin in his murder. And earlier this week, the Partnerships for Opportunity and Workforce and Economic Revitalization, also known as Power Grant, awarded West Carroll, Kentucky $1.36 million. The grant will be used to renovate a 24,000 square foot building in Pike County into a facility for live-in substance abuse treatment for women. Mothers will be able to live there with their children under the age of 12 years old inside the facility. Regional Vice President Stephen Wright says this is a life-changing program.
And it's a difficult decision to leave their children behind, or they may not even have child care for that length of time.
The shelter will hold 65 people and create around 30 jobs. The first stage of construction will be completed in July and doors will open sometime in December. A Perry County church was broken into this past week, and on Tuesday night, someone broke a window in the Hardborough Baptist Church. The thief getting away with several items and a few dollars. It was not until Friday morning preacher Ernie Fugit ran some errands at the church and noticed that the window was broken.
I looked, seen the glass, called the sheriff's office. They come out and did a report. We looked around. We had a monitor, a computer monitor, a keyboard, mouse, a little bit of money that was in a jug taken. It's all I found right now.
If you do have any information about the burglary, you can contact the Perry County Sheriff's Office. Today is a day where one breaks out their kilt and celebrates their Scottish heritage. Saturday is National Tartan Day. A tartan itself is a plaid pattern that consists of crisscross vertical and horizontal bands in a variety of colors. Such patterns are commonly found in Scottish kilts, and the tartan has become synonymous with Scotland as a result. Created by presidential proclamation in 2008, National Tartan Day celebrates Americans who have Scottish ancestry. We'll be right back with a full look at your forecast after this break.